See these two charts? They're the same, aren't they? This is Bitcoin, and this is the Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic, a pattern that has been observed in global bull markets for the last 100 years or more. It happens because of market manipulation from big players, something we've seen a lot of happening in the crypto markets recently. But don't worry, it's soon to be over, with Bitcoin now emerging from the test phase of this and ready to send its price and the altcoins much higher towards the upside. You're probably thinking this is happening because of the White House crypto event or Donald Trump, when actually it's all because of global M2 money supply, something that is about to change dramatically with China introducing $179 billion of stimulus into their economy, which they announced today.
China's parliament is holding its annual meeting under the shadow of US tariffs. With President Xi Jinping looking on, lawmakers on Wednesday committed extra money to boost the economy. China will now issue some $179 billion in special bonds to lift growth.
Things are about to get incredibly exciting, and the bull market you've been promised is still going to happen. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we dive in and find out what's happening in China and global M2 money supply and what's going to happen at the White House tomorrow and which altcoins probably to be buying because of that, let's understand a little bit more about this Wyckoff pattern, because it's going to allow us to be very calm and understand the game that is being played right under our noses. And if you don't believe that there is a game being played, then ask yourself, how, with Bitcoin above $90,000 and Trump hosting the first ever crypto summit at the White House tomorrow, is the fear and greed index currently sat at 25? This is unprecedented. We haven't seen this level of fear at a time like this in the market that we're seeing right now. And it's all because of this single pattern. So first things first, let's understand what this pattern is and what it's designed to do. This pattern was first identified by Richard Wyckoff, a trader back on Wall Street in the 1920s, more than 100 years ago. He identified that big traders would use certain patterns at various stages of the market in order to create the sentiment in the market that allowed them to carry out the trades they wanted to trade. But these happen at the tops of markets and bottom of markets. So how do we know that this one is a mid-market reaccumulation rather than a top of the bull market distribution phase? Well, these here are the distribution phases, and they're similar to what we saw at the top of the last bull market. However, what is characteristically different about the one that we're observing now is the creek that we have witnessed happening in here. And as soon as I finish reading this out, you're going to understand exactly why we've seen so much BS happening in the bull market, okay? And it's because of this. A reaccumulation occurs during a long-term uptrend which will continue in the future, the continuing bull market. Inside a Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic, buyers are closing parts of their long positions and sellers are joining the market. If we remember, back to the end of last year, we saw Bitcoin pretty high up, XRP, Cardano, all incredibly high. Everyone's speculating on how much higher they could go, and guess what? We started to see them cooling off and having a bit of a pullback. This happened because big money started to take profits. Guess what? This then caused other people to then start to sell up as well, and this resulted in a pullback. With the incoming selling position, market makers could then fill new long positions once more. This is the game. The game is simply market makers and those in the know trying to get you and me and everyone else to make decisions based on emotion rather than what is fundamentally happening under our noses. If you think about it, this creek phase here was where we got tricked completely. I included, okay? This looks exactly like a bull flag, and ultimately what happens is it broke the bull flag to the bottom, to the spring, causing everyone who was already going into long positions here to get liquidated, creating the sell orders that the big money needed to accumulate in big quantities. So how do we know that the big money is accumulating in big quantities and this isn't all just a complete BS game? Well, because Donald Trump, the President of the United States, today bought $25 million worth of crypto. He's been doing it continually over the last kind of months or so, and everyone particularly was buying it in massive quantities around this spring and test phase. So why have they chosen to do it now? Why are we ready to see a bull market unfolding in front of us? Many of you have been speculating on the fact that we won't be able to see a bull market for at least another 3 to 4 months because we haven't had any quantitative easing from the US. And that's coming from people who are saying, yeah, but crypto markets are driven by global M2 money supply. You're right, they are. But they're driven by global M2 money supply, not United States money supply. Yes, obviously the US has a big economy, and if the US starts to print money and reduces interest rates, it will be incredibly bullish for crypto. But we don't have to wait for that to happen to start seeing positive reactions in the crypto market, because there are other countries in the world contributing to the global money supply. And after recently we saw the global money supply bottoming out, we've now started to see it pick up. This piece of news from China comes at the exact right time. Now, if you were around in crypto bull markets back in 2017, then you would have also seen that this was the cause of that bull market back then, not what Donald Trump was saying, because at the time he wasn't even pro-crypto. We saw a bull market in 2021 when Biden was in, who hated crypto seemingly. So we've seen a number of bull markets in crypto happen with US leaders who are anti-crypto. So why would you say that fundamentally everything has to be bound around the US right now? China is printing money around $179 billion in order to stimulate its economy. Many people have been told that they had to wait for the US to cut interest rates before this could happen. But if you were subscribed to my YouTube channel, which hopefully by now you are, I'll give you a moment to just go and do that down below while you're hitting the like button, of course, then you will know that it's actually not because of this, but it's all because of the US dollar falling down. Now, I know this is pretty intense and it's pretty boring, and you're like, guys, just tell me which altcoin to buy, okay? I just want to buy altcoins. Guys, if you understand why these markets are moving like they're moving, then you can have far more courage and conviction to hold through the lows and just be patient about what is going to come, because it's going to come, and we're starting to see it happen right now. China was able to print money because of one thing and one thing alone. It's the US dollar dumping. The US dollar was incredibly strong around the start, just before Donald Trump's inauguration. Okay, Donald Trump then got into power, and slowly you can see the US dollar has been creeping down ever since. Now, what you can see by this big red box that I've drawn here is none other than liquidity. And as we can see this starting to slide down, what you're going to see is the green light for China and other global economies to pump money into the economy once more. This is the money printers that everyone is very excited about. And yes, towards the middle of this year and possibly towards Q3 of this year, we are going to see quantitative easing from the US. But we don't have to wait for that, because we're seeing the global M2 money supply being topped up by the globe. Okay, so don't zoom in too closely to what the US is doing. Yes, it's important, but really the bigger picture is in front of us right now. So what about this crypto event? How on earth do we play it, knowing that the market makers are out to manipulate our every single move? Well, you have to ask yourself, is the market fearful right now? What are the smart money doing? Well, it seems to me smart money is still looking to accumulate whenever they can. We can see it happening on chain all the time. Is there danger of market manipulation? Well, yeah, of course, but market manipulation can happen in both directions. I think you're forgetting the fact that everyone is so fearful and worried right now and still scared to buy in, despite the fact this news is incredibly bullish. We have the perfect storm, because it means that they're going to be able to send the market initially using market makers, and then everyone who's still scared to buy into the market right now because of this crazy Wyckoff stuff that's been happening over the past 2 or so months, means that everyone who sold up more recently, panic selling, etc., are going to be forced to ape in back into Bitcoin and the altcoins as soon as Bitcoin is back above 100k. Classic, right? This happens pretty much every single time. So yes, it's unfair that you and me are not president of the United States, and we don't get to decide what happens to the crypto market and understand what's going on behind the scenes. But get over it, okay? We have a bull market set up in front of us right now, ready for the taking. Little Timmy and everyone's absolutely terrified. And if you can avoid being like little Timmy, you're good to go, okay? Bull markets run because of global M2 money supply. 94% correlation between Bitcoin and the M2 money supply. China, the world's second biggest economy, has just turned on the money printers. Okay, it couldn't get better than this. Things are about to get heated. What happens in the White House tomorrow really is semi-irrelevant. I say semi-irrelevant because the bull market moves on whether Donald Trump says something or not, okay? But in the short term, it does seem like something crazy could be getting set up. Mainly, particularly, that there is the announcements due to happen around 5:30 p.m. Friday in the US, which is when the US stock market closes, and in fact the global stock markets close at that point as well. Pretty convenient, right? A lot of people have been focusing towards which will be the biggest winners of the US crypto policy. Again, I want you to remember that yes, US will be a big driving force in this crypto bull market, and a lot of projects will do well if they're associated with the US crypto policy. Here is a list of some of the ones that are made in the USA. You can take a screenshot. Some of these are mentioned by Trump. They're made in the USA, various different things going on, okay? could be an indicator about particular projects that could see a lot of hype and excitement. Now, would I go and sell all of my crypto projects that are not from the US? Absolutely not. Obviously, it pays to have some exposure to some of these projects. But remember, the news only lasts as long in terms of the benefit for projects as it takes to tell the news. We know this already. There could be some announcement tomorrow that could see some significant shoves in these projects, but we wouldn't just anticipate that these are the only projects that can run during this bull market and everything else will be forgotten about. Okay, because this will just bring liquidity into the markets. Liquidity then spreads to new opportunities like it always does. Now, what have we seen? We've seen Donald Trump accumulating Ethereum, Bitcoin, no surprise, but also accumulating Move in the last few days. Over the last kind of few weeks, we've seen him accumulating Solana. Obviously, he mentioned Solana, XRP, Cardano in the last few days as well in that tweet that he made the other day. But then ask yourself, how much more FOMO and excitement is there really to push these coins much higher? Okay, that news again, remember we've seen manipulation happening like crazy, so don't get manipulated by further news down the line. Remember, you need to think about maybe where we might see some kind of growth, which particular areas. So I would focus my attention towards like real world assets. Ondo, pretty much no brainer in my opinion. Partnered with BlackRock is a coin that I personally hold. I personally have been buying into Ethereum more recently because it is a big market cap coin. It's the most established blockchain. It makes sense that they would build the US financial system around this. Who knows? Okay. Other blockchains and things that we've seen a lot of excitement from. Solana, no brainer, but Solana, XRP, Cardano obviously benefited a lot from the news the other day and also have pretty big market caps and have been performing very strongly since Donald Trump got in, unlike Ethereum. I also think there's room for Avalanche to have a run. Sui and Aptos, smaller market caps. Aptos saw a bit of a struggle at the end of last year because its founder left and then became an advisor, but I don't see that to be too much of a problem. So yeah, have a few of these if you so wish, but don't do this tomorrow. Let's say something bullish happens and all of these coins pump and you're not holding enough of them. You then go and try and sell all of your bags of other coins to go and buy into these, and then the market makers pull the rug again. Okay, don't get caught in that. Have some exposure to some of your favorite ones in here. I personally, for information, have Ethereum. I have some Aptos. I have some Sui. And I have some Ondo. And right now I don't have any others on this list. In the past I've had leverage positions on XRP and Cardano and in fact Solana, but I don't hold those open right now because of the market manipulation, so try and avoid leverage. So according to the Wyckoff accumulation, it should be that we will see another push up here, but we can still kind of go sideways for a bit and see some playing around before we see any sort of continuation towards the upside. And of course in the shorter term, nothing is ever set in stone. The only thing that we know fundamentally for crypto in general is that longer term, I'm talking weeks and months ahead, market's going to be much higher than they are right now. Okay, so if we get dips, buy the dips. This is just speculating on a very simple pattern that I have observed in the markets that all correlates perfectly with the fact that we have massive fear in the markets right now. We are seeing stimulus arrive in the markets. Stimulus will arrive, 94% correlation between Bitcoin and global M2 money supply. Pin your hopes on that. We will see QE or quantitative easing happening until early 2026. And I think after that, we then see brutal, horrendous bear market. Okay, so buy the dips now. So in my opinion, I just want to hold money in the markets right now throughout the rest of this year. And then eventually, times will improve and I can just pull out my profits as and when. Just got to be patient. Who knows what's going to happen in the next hour or so. Let's wait and see. But I think things are looking very positive. I completely missed this pump and then dump that happened in the market the other day, but the fact that it then got bought up incredibly quickly to me is pretty bullish. Okay, I'm still feeling very bullish. I'm just not concerned about all the noise and fear from little Timmy and the lads that I'm seeing across crypto right now. Just don't be too concerned about it. M2 money supply is the driver. Now, if you want calm advice and to understand what's going on in crypto markets and to be able to make the right decisions at the right times, then make sure you're subscribed to the House of Crypto notification bell turned on. Okay, I will be continuing to make videos about different coins and things that I'm accumulating as the markets move on, as we move back into a more positive market where we see narratives like gaming wake up, like AI wake up, real world assets, etc. It will happen again. It's going to happen far bigger than you can probably even imagine right now. And I will be there to walk you through that every step of the way. So make sure you're subscribed. And if you're looking to buy cryptos and you don't want to do a KYC or know your customer, so you don't have to register to a crypto exchange, then make sure you use the links down below for Bitunix or WEEX. Both of these have unique offers that are exclusive to the House of Crypto. Both of them have existing bonuses for people who've signed up through my links before. If you want the sign-up bonuses and you've already got accounts that you signed up for before, you can simply create a new account through my link down below using another email address, no problem. And then you can trade on both of these exchanges without having to KYC. Also, some of the lowest fees across crypto, and have a huge amount of different smaller cap altcoins that you're not going to find on Coinbase, Binance, etc. So make sure you sign up for both of those. I personally use both of those every single day, as well as using a MEXC to trade all of my funds. Now, just an update, my Twitter page still not under my control. Hopefully it will be by next week. I'll let you know when I have access to Twitter again. If you see Twitter pages pretending to be me, guess what? They're not me, so don't do anything I ask you to do. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, and I will see you later on in another video. Bye-bye.